can you daily a 1983 Pontiac Trans Am? And to be honest, this goes with most vintage cars. There are obviously delineating levels, but now anyone who's watched my channel knows that you can daily a 1972 Camaro. I had zero problems dailying it, and it had more than enough trunk space, big enough for 5 people, not comfortably in the back obviously. It was reliable. It was great fuel economy in that particular car, but in fairness, it was tuned for fuel economy. So let's look at this car. Now, brand new, it was advertised at getting 33 miles per gallon in the highway, or on the highway. The reality gets maybe 10 miles per gallon on the highway, and I think that's being optimistic as shit. Totally blocking a lane right now. There we go. That's better. But yeah, so maybe 10 miles per gallon on the highway. This is shitty. Well, it's revving at 3,500 RPM to do the speed limit. So yeah, it's not going to get good gas mileage on the freeway. And that's a big thing with these old cars because they shitty transmissions. I mean, 3 gears, of course, when you're going fast, you're going to be revving abnormally high. With 5 gears, probably wouldn't be that big a deal. And in fairness, I think that was the 33 miles per gallon was an advertisement based on the 5-speed manual. So that would be a big bonus. 2 extra gears and manual. It's going to get a lot better fuel mileage. However, in the city, just cruising around, seeing as it idles at 25-30 miles per hour and I don't actually have to put the gas on, it gets good gas mileage then. And 20 bucks can do me almost 200 kilometers in the city. So if you were using it to commute on the freeway every day, like 2 hours a day, then it's not a very good car to daily. However, if you're just driving around the city on your daily commute, it's actually pretty good for gas mileage. Obviously not the best, but not bad. How many fucking days has it been? So in terms of in-city commuting, yes, you can daily a Trans Am. Now, how about space? 4 seats plus the hump. Back seats obviously not very comfortable, but I have had 5 people in altogether, including myself, so it can be done. It can be done, no problem. Storage. I did shoot a clip. It's on one of my videos. I think it actually is dailying a vintage car in the title of the video, where we had to move an air conditioner, and it obviously didn't it would have fit actually, because this comes down. That folded down, we could have fit the air conditioner in the back seat, but there were 3 of us, so we needed the back seat. So, buddy likes the car, I think. Yeah, so we needed the back seat, so we had to put it under the hatch, and there was not enough room under the hatch. So what I did was I used some ratchet straps that I had from the SUV, that big ugly white Ford I owned, and I used them wrapped around the spoiler, hooked them on the hatch release, and was able to keep the hatch down over top of the air conditioner and get it home that way. So those ratchet straps are a 4-pack for like 20 bucks. So for 20 bucks, you can get shit that will make it reliable for transporting large objects, which in fairness is better than the Camaro. Yes, the Camaro had an actual legitimate trunk, but it was definitely smaller than the hatch allows me to carry. And more importantly, losing my train of thought, something in my teeth. Yeah, so you can definitely fit more in, and there is even a little sub-compartment in this thing too, so it fits more than the Camaro. But one issue with that it's open to me. In the Camaro, you had a closed trunk, so if you had anything with fumes, like a jerry can filled with gas, you didn't really have to worry too much about it getting into the trunk, or into the cabin of the car. Here, it's open. You put a jerry can back there. Not only does it take up 90% of your space, and you lose your rear view, which you did not lose in the Camaro with the shit in the trunk. Honk, honk, honk. But you know what? I'm gonna go over there. Oh, yeah, you lose your view. Fuck, where was I? Lost view. Alright, yeah, gases would flow through the cabin and you die. There is, however, a small compartment in this car that closes off. It's not airtight, but I do actually keep a 2-gallon jerry can full in that little compartment. And it does enough of a job clouding this stink of gasoline that I can't smell it right now. Obviously I have the tops down, and I don't think I've driven the car with the windows up yet, so perhaps when the windows are up it might become an issue. It's not an issue with the one. Wow, that would fuck the car right there. That was a huge gap. So far I haven't had an issue keeping a jerry can in the sub compartment. So for keeping a jerry can or transporting fumey shit, you can do that. Driving it in the city. Now, I have been able to parallel park this pretty easy. You do get to see out the back pretty well. However, that is a massive blind spot. I mean, seriously, look at how big that fucking blind spot is. That is a ridiculously large fucking blind spot. That's a minivan filled with children that you just pushed into a river and they're all dead blind spot. So yeah, blind spots, not good. Navigating on a road like this, not very good. But, and navigating in the city, this is a pretty big car. I don't think it's as long as my Camaro was, but with that curved hood and that fucking vent in the way, I cannot see the front of the car to save my fucking life. I freak out trying to park this thing forwards because I don't know if I'm about to hit shit. I can't see the fucking far corner, so I don't know if I'm about to hit shit over there. Squeezing this thing is a bitch because, like I said, I can't see the front corners. Don't... You honking at me? Don't know where the fuck they are. So navigating in the city, maybe not the best car. Though I am able to parallel park it. This has that mirror, so in that aspect, this having that mirror, better than the Camaro, which didn't have that mirror. But in fairness, I had no problem parallel parking the... Oh, that was loud. I had no problem parallel parking that fucking Camaro. I parallel parked like a boss without a mirror. But yeah, I definitely would not give it a high rating for driving around in the city, in a crowded city. This city's not too bad, but this is by far not a crowded city. Pop-up! Loving my pop-up headlights. Just like absolutely love those. The parking brake on the Camaro worked, which meant parking on a hill, you didn't have to worry. Parking brake don't work for fucking shit, and I'm so pissed, because this is my first handbrake. This is the first car I've owned with a fucking handbrake, and it doesn't fucking work. I was so sad. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, I'm gonna rip the shit out of that thing. Doesn't even fucking hold the car on a fucking teeny tiny grade. Will not hold the car. So disappointed. So disappointed. So sad. So yeah, I live in a city with a lot of fucking hills, so not a working parking brake, not very good for dailying it in a city of hills. There is no fucking parking here, so that means parking garages with that posi-trac and much louder exhaust. Well, I like that. Squeaky, squeaky, vroom, vroom. I love that. But for most people, they probably wouldn't like that too much. I do actually have a buddy who has an 81 Camaro, different generation, but still. He actually got a baby seat converted to sit on the hump, so that his two normal kids could sit in the back seat and his smaller kid could sit in a booster seat on the hump. That's cool. So these could be family cars, plenty of room in the back for soccer bags and shit. You could totally be a soccer mom repping a Pontiac Trans Am. I mean, obviously, that goes without saying, duh. But, I don't know. There's an Impala, it's got lights, bit of a lowrider. It better be an Impala. That might not be an Impala. I don't think that's an Impala, that's not an Impala. Fuck. I let the GM gods down there. Yeah, that's all I can really think about in terms of dailying. Like, that's my daily life. And I do daily this. It is obviously my daily. I am going to winter this, which will break some hearts. And I'm not exactly looking forward to what's going to happen to the rear end or these wheel wells. But I'll just try not to drive it as much. But, I mean, it's going to be doing drift tours and shit. So you can bet this thing's going to be pretty fucked by the end of winter. Fucking T-tops, yo, T-tops. That totally rips the shit out of the scale. I mean, of course you can daily it. It's got T-tops. Duh. I don't know. I'd say on a dailying scale, I'd give the car a 6 out of 10. Bearing in mind, the way I see the scale, 1 is it's absolutely fucking horrible. 2, it's really, really bad. 3, it's bad. 4, cannot be used for that category. So if it were a 4, it could not be dailied. 5, dailyable, nothing good about it. And I'm giving it a 6. So it's dailyable and it's got some benefits, but some negatives. 7 would be it's perfectly dailyable, no negatives. 8 would be it's a good daily, it's a great daily. Fucking 9 would be like a perfect daily, and 10 would be just the best daily, like some sort of minivan. Ugh. Yeah, so 6 out of 10 on the dailying scale, and I would have given my Camaro maybe a 7. Even though this is better in some regards. But, yeah, so to the answer to the question, yes, you could definitely daily a 1983 Pontiac Trans Am.